Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I am here with Bill Streeter, the Delaware Valley Raptor Center. Hello.
Hi, Bill. How are you?
I'm good. What do we have here behind us?
We have a golden eagle. Her name is Julia. She came from Wyoming originally, and she had to be placed at another facility to be used for education. And after my golden eagle, Crystal, died 10 years ago, we were looking for another one to use for education, and we found Julia. She was flown here from Wyoming. Her problem initially was a fractured leg, which healed perfectly, but she's blind completely in her right eye, and that often happens from car injuries, which is where she was found on the side of the road after she was hit by a car. So you can see one eye is a little bit darker than the other side, than the other eye. And we've been trained her, and we've been using her for education for the last 10 years.
What is their environment usually like?
Well, most golden eagles, all golden eagles in the lower 48 states live out west. So they're generally in just western landscapes. They build these huge nests on the cliffs. They're also in Texas, not that far west. But they do really well out west, and they're living on mostly jackrabbits and ground squirrels. But we also have eastern golden eagles, and they live north of us in Canada. And they migrate through the eastern United States every year. So it's the end of September right now, but in a couple of months, usually golden eagles are starting to pass down through the flyways. And November is the really big push for goldens. So if you hit the migration ridges during November, you can see golden eagles in the wild. And every once in a while, we will get a Canada golden eagle in here for rehabilitation.
What's the difference between the two subspecies of golden eagles?
I don't know if there are separate subspecies between eastern goldens and western goldens. There might be, which is something now I'm going to have to go in and look up just to make sure I know what I'm talking about. But as far as I know, there's no morphological differences, but their food source is going to be different. So eastern goldens feed mostly on waterfowl. I mean, they'll eat mammalian prey as well, but if you live in the east and the northeast, and if you're a big bird and have a lot to eat, it's not like out west you have lots of jackrabbits and ground squirrels and wide open country where you can catch stuff. The east is heavily wooded, so they end up in wetland areas, and they feed mostly on waterfowl. So when we do see them, they end up, very often they're spotted with bald eagles along the waterways in the east as they're migrating through.
How do these birds catch their prey?
Goldens and most raptors actually dive on their prey, and they grab them with their feet, and they contract, and they kill their prey with huge, very powerful talons. Falcons, on the other hand, most falcons are air feeders, and they're eating other birds. So they will swoop down and just grab another bird right out of the air. If it's smaller than it, if it's bigger than it, it'll knock it out of the air to the ground. And then falcons kill the bird by biting at the neck with a very specialized double-hooked beak, which only the falcons have. So they don't kill with their feet, they kill with their beaks, whereas hawks and eagles kill with their feet.
How is the golden eagle's beak adapted to their kind of food?
Probably a slightly, like all birds of prey, they have really hooked beaks which are used for tearing flesh. They're not killing with their beaks, they're killing with their feet. But it's a very efficient way to tear off large chunks and just inflict these huge pieces of meat back into their throat with a specialized tongue that does that very well. A slightly better question would be a bald eagle's beak, because bald eagles are fish eagles, or sea eagles, and there's only, I think, 11 species, maybe 12, I think it's 11 species of fish eagles in the entire world. And they have really huge beaks. Fish are a very messy affair, so if you have a lot of scales and stuff like that, if your beak is a little bit larger, you're probably a little bit less likely to get fish scales all over your face. And they have smaller talons because you don't really need big talons to catch fish, but the bottom underside of their feet have these little keratin spines sticking out. So it's like a spiked golf shoe or something, except they're very, very small and mini. And that will help them hold something that's very, very slippery. So it works out pretty well for them.
Well, thank you for telling us all about these golden eagles. And if you guys like this episode, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel.